Yo, I just want to add in before we start off today, I'm doing this after I've done the rest of the video. The more I watch PC versus console, and the more I play on console and look at PC, etc., the more I feel like this gun is affected by which platform it's on, so do keep that in mind while you're watching. It doesn't mean it's definitely going to be bad for someone or good for someone, but I think there is something at play here because of the recoil and what's required to use this gun well. Alright, enjoy. Alright, welcome to the video, another one on the new and final content update for Battlefield 5, but I don't feel too good today, so I may not talk as much or go into as much detail. I apologise for that, but I do want to keep getting these videos out to you while this stuff is all new for you guys to try out and enjoy. If we fall short of the usual kind of length today, I'll still fill the video out with footage afterwards in case you're interested, and to of course hit at least that magic number for YouTube. So the new Chauchat, I always get it wrong, in BF5 returns from BF1. And you're using it wrong. And I can say that to you because I was using it wrong. Or at least I wasn't using it optimally. So to clarify, if you are one of the people who are using it right or to the fullest of its abilities, I apologize. Pat yourself on the back from me. And actually let me know how you found this gun, good or bad, and do you think you're using it well or not? As this weapon right now is being called both overpowered and underpowered, godlike and garbage. Because yeah, this gun can essentially be used in, let's say, 3 ways. The wrong way, the passable way, and the optimal way. Somewhat surprisingly when you compare this gun with the other LMGs in the game. This is kind of a sniper, but with added versatility. Or rather than sniper, maybe a marksman. I don't know the terms, you get what I'm saying. I needed a catchy headline, alright? So the best way I can think to present all of this is by taking you through my journey of using and learning about the Chauchat. The wrong way is running around with it as if it's any other LMG in BF5, or indeed any other automatic weapon in BF5, and thinking it's just for blasting people down by holding the trigger, challenging 1v1 after 1v1, and basically using it as if it's an STG or a KE7 or whatever else. By the way, just a thought, if I end up calling it the Chauchat at any point, that's my bad, but it's just a habit I've built up over years. Just accept me for who I am. Now, the passable way of using this weapon is for somewhat more traditional LMG play, and this is where I'm right now sitting with using it. Yep, we don't always nail everything, and it's important to recognize and express that. So I was having no luck with this gun. I had zero confidence in gunfights, I couldn't see the point. I felt as if it was a BF1 weapon thrown into BF5 but without the required balancing. Basically, I felt like getting the gun to function required a lot more recoil control, pacing of shots and whatever else, while most BF5 guns are more like hold the trigger down as if it's a laser beam. Now, a lot of this experience was while using the 3x scope on console, and using the weapon in full auto a lot of the time with some burst firing thrown in here and there. Because, well, most other guns, especially with the kind of stats this weapon has, they can do that. And I, on this occasion, foolishly assumed that there wouldn't be enough of an upside to trying to use the Chauchat, yep, I said it, in a more nuanced fashion. You know that I know it's not the real name, it's just what keeps coming out of my mouth. So I eventually threw on the AA sights to reduce the visible recoil, went for a little more passive traditional LMG play, not too close and not too far, and I did better. Managed to get the gun to feel somewhat good, absolutely melting people sometimes, but there was nothing to wow me, nothing to make me feel like it would be a weapon that I'll be using regularly for the long term. Besides, I have the Lewis gun, which lets me play in basically any way I like, right? Because basic stat wise, the Chauchat fires at 327 rounds per minute, has 20 rounds per reload, more damage per bullet than other LMGs, but arguably a lot less ease of use than most of them, so really for me, nothing to write home about on the surface. And yet people have been saying this is a monster, it melts people and all that jazz. So I did the sensible thing and I watched some gameplay and I asked around, eventually landing at Dan Minigun, who I will link to in the description, due to his extensive experience of using LMGs. Because yep, no matter who you are, recognize when someone does something specific better than you do. And so now we'll switch to footage of Dan using the gun. Very rare for this channel, I know, but he thinks the optimal way to use this weapon is to really play into its strengths. Which sounds like a very obvious statement, but let me explain how he personally does that. He always uses the 3x scope. Goes for headshots often, as it can 2-shot headshot out to a long range. He makes use of the single fire mode more so than expected, as it makes the recoil far easier to manage on this gun specifically, as well as others to differing degrees. Although he says doing that lowers the rate of fire to 257 rounds per minute, but when using semi-auto, he's going for efficient precision kills anyway. And, this was a big one for me, he selects enhanced grips rather than quick aim. This allows him to rely more so on hip fire at close range when needed to boost up its its versatility a little bit, as it isn't supposed to be a reactionary weapon choice anyway, so he feels like quick aim is less important than on some other guns. For the rest of the Spectre, he goes right side, which actually did as well, to increase stability and aimed fire when stationary. Now it must be said that Dan plays on PC, whereas I play on console, so I think this kind of usage is arguably more PC friendly due to increased precision with a mouse, as well as better recoil control, but that doesn't make the advice any less relevant either way. If you can make use of the gun in this fashion on PC or console, then great. If not, well, at least you have my alternative passable technique of somewhat more standard traditional LMG usage with AA sights, or of course, you could fall somewhere in the middle for whatever works for you. And in fact, even if you don't go for headshots, the Chauchat, I'm gonna keep saying it, beats something like the Lewis gun for time to kill, at between 12 and 29 meters. Then they're somewhat comparable out to 49 meters before the Lewis gun pulls away. So if you do stick to mid-range, playing in either the passable or optimal fashion, you can have some success. Just don't go all gung-ho and wild with it. It's not gonna work in that manner. But let me add, there are reasons why I still don't rate the Chauchat as highly as on BF5 as some do. For example, the Carabin of the Assault class can also two-shot headshot while firing at 300 rounds per minute. A little slower than the Chauchat in full auto, but faster than in semi-auto, and it's an actual semi-auto rifle. So it's designed for this and is thus, in my opinion, easier to use. Not to mention that the Carabin kills far faster than the Chauchat Chauchat when looking at body shots anywhere from 31 meters onwards. And that's just one semi-auto rifle example. The AGM/42, as another example, can two-shot headshot and it fires at 450 rounds per minute. Or you could go for something like the ZH29, a self-loading rifle of the Recon class. Sure, that only fires at 150 or 164 rounds per minute, but you also only ever need to go for body shots. What I'm saying to you is that it's absolutely going to come down to the player. It's not that the Chauchat is bad, actually for me, it's just that the semi-auto rifles are incredibly strong in this game now, and only really optimal usage makes the Chauchat truly worthwhile. Whereas you can of course use it in the passable manner and make use of it being full auto and killing a bit faster than most semi-autos at closer ranges, which is nice, perfectly good for your average player I imagine, if they can get to grips with it just a bit, but again not optimal for the more advanced player, and really for your average player, something easy to use is probably going to be the choice anyway. And so that's what I think of the Chauchat slide. So now, let me know what you think in the comments. And I guess I'll see how long this turns out being when I edit it. Thank you so much for watching, I really do appreciate it. If you liked the video, please do hit the like button, a dislike if you didn't. If you're new here or just haven't subscribed before, you can check below. Please do consider doing that. I'm pushing to get to 50,000 as quickly as I can, and you'll be able to stay up to date with my content, especially if you turn on notifications. And all the links to my social media, including Patreon, can be found in the description and my pinned comment, where if you do support me on Patreon, you'll get on this board of awesome with the other absolute heroes who already do that. And I love them all deeply and of course often. So yep, link to that in the description and my pinned comment. And with that all said, I am GetGoodGuy, and I'll see you next time. Laters.
Hier, frische Munition! Hier, Munition! Munition!
Chauchat.
Für dich, Munition!
Rein! Der steht nicht mehr auf!
And the fact that some of it is good is great, but it's good stuff, it is not world-shattering. So, if you don't know, there are 9 new guns, 10 if you count a suppressed variant of a sidearm.